Picture this, a Japanese elementary school, end of the lunch period. 37-year-olds push back their chairs, reach for small cloths and brooms stacked in the corner, and start cleaning their own classroom. No janitor shows up, no teacher threatens them, no one complains. They just do it every single day like it's the most normal thing in the world. Because to them, it is. By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 things Japanese parents do that make this possible, and one thing you can start tonight with your own kids. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. My kid won't even pick up a sock without negotiating. And I hear you. But here's what's fascinating. Japanese children aren't tidier because they're wired differently. They're tidier because they've been taught something that most Western parents never get told. The research backs this up. Child development studies from institutions across the United States and Europe have looked closely at why Japanese kids show higher levels of self-directed responsibility from an early age. And the answer keeps coming back to the same thing. It's not stricter rules. It's not fear. It's identity. Let me show you what that actually means. It starts with a Japanese concept called O-Soji. In Japanese schools, O-Soji is the daily cleaning time, and it sits right there on the schedule like math or reading. After lunch, every student grabs a cloth or a broom. They sweep their classroom. They wipe down desks. They clean hallways, staircases, and yes, even the bathrooms. Teachers clean alongside them. There are no professional janitors doing this work. That's not an accident, and it's not a budget decision. It's a deliberate educational choice that sends a message every single day. This space belongs to you. You made the mess. You take care of it. And when a child hears that message 5 days a week for 12 years, it stops being a rule and starts being who they are. Here's the thing about Osoji that most people miss. It isn't framed as a punishment. It isn't something kids are sent to do when they've misbehaved. It's just a normal part of the day, like recess or gym. And that framing matters more than almost anything else. In Western households, cleaning is often introduced as a consequence. Room's a disaster, so now you have to tidy it. Or it's a transaction. Clean your room and you get screen time. But Japanese children grow up in a system where cleaning isn't connected to punishment or reward at all. It's just what you do. It's what everyone does. That shift from chore to norm changes everything about how a child relates to it. Now let's talk about where this actually starts, because it doesn't start at school. It starts at home, much earlier than most parents think. Japanese parents routinely involve toddlers in real household tasks, not fake play chores, not little plastic toy brooms. Real tasks. A 2-year-old hands a parent the clean dishes. A 3-year-old wipes down the low shelf after dinner. A 4-year-old folds their own small pile of laundry. These tasks aren't assigned because the parent needs help. They're assigned because the child needs the experience. Japanese parents understand that the window between ages 1 and 6 is when a child's relationship with their environment is being formed, and they don't waste it. And here's the critical detail. The parent isn't standing over the child correcting every fold and every wipe. They model the behavior first. They do it themselves, calmly and consistently, and then they invite the child in. Not with a reward attached, not with a threat attached, with an expectation. The quiet assumption that, of course, you'll participate, because this is what our family does. Children are deeply sensitive to that kind of expectation. When participation is treated as optional or contingent on good mood, kids feel that too. But when it's just assumed, children tend to rise to meet it. The research on this is consistent. Intrinsic motivation, doing something because it feels right rather than for a reward, is built through repetition and belonging, not through incentive systems. There's another concept underneath all of this, and it's worth naming directly. It's called Meiwaku. Meiwaku roughly means causing trouble or inconvenience to others. From a very young age, Japanese children are taught to be aware of how their behavior affects the group around them. Leaving a mess isn't just untidiness, it's Meiwaku. It creates extra work for someone else. It burdens the community, and in a culture that places the group's well-being above individual preferences, that matters deeply. A Japanese child isn't asked to clean because the room looks bad. They're asked to clean because someone else will have to deal with it if they don't. That's a completely different frame, and it builds a completely different kind of motivation. Think about how we typically ask kids to clean up in Western households. We say things like, "Your room is a mess," or "I'm tired of looking at this." The focus is on appearance or on the parent's frustration. But what if the framing was different? What if cleaning up was about not creating burden for the people around you? That's not a minor language shift. That's a values shift, and it connects tidying to something much larger than personal preference. It connects it to empathy, to community, to the understanding that we share our spaces with other people and those people matter. Let's go back to the classroom for a second. One thing that makes O-Soji work so well is how it's structured. Students aren't told to go clean and left to figure it out. They're divided into small groups. Each group has a specific area of the school. Tasks rotate. Older students help younger ones. Sixth graders go into first grade classrooms to show the little kids how it's done. 3 times a year, some schools send students out into the surrounding neighborhood with small brooms and cotton gloves to clean the streets around the school. The cleaning isn't a solo performance, it's a shared ritual, and that shared quality is part of what makes it stick. Kids aren't cleaning to impress a parent or a teacher. They're cleaning because the group is doing it together. Here's where this gets practical for parents. You don't need to restructure your entire household. You don't need to wake up tomorrow and announce a new system. What the research and the Japanese example actually suggest is that small and consistent beats big and occasional every single time. Pick one task, one real task that fits where your child is developmentally. A 3-year-old can put their shoes by the door. A 5-year-old can wipe down their spot at the dinner table. A 7-year-old can empty a small wastebasket. The task itself almost doesn't matter. What matters is that it happens every day, that you don't attach a reward to it, and that you treat it as simply expected. Not a big deal either way, just what we do. And model it yourself. This is the part parents underestimate. Japanese households are built around the idea that adults act as living examples, not just instruction givers. Children don't learn from being told. They learn from watching. If you tidy consistently and calmly without making a production of it, your child is filing that away. They're building a picture of what normal looks like. And over time, their behavior starts to match the picture. Give it 3 weeks of daily repetition before you judge whether it's working. 3 weeks is roughly how long it takes for a new routine to stop feeling like effort and start feeling like just the way things are. The last piece is the one most parents skip entirely, and it might be the most important. Japanese parents don't just assign tasks, they include children in the meaning behind those tasks. Why do we clean up our classroom? Because it belongs to all of us and we respect each other. Why do we tidy at home? Because this is our shared space and we care about the people in it. Those conversations don't need to be long or formal. They just need to happen. A child who understands why they're doing something is far more likely to keep doing it independently than a child who's only doing it to avoid a consequence. Motivation rooted in meaning outlasts motivation rooted in fear every single time. Japanese parents have known this for generations, and the research in developmental psychology has spent the last 30 years proving them right. So here is your one thing to start tonight. After dinner, instead of clearing the table yourself, hand your child their plate. Don't make it a request. Don't offer a reward. Just hand it to them with the quiet assumption that, of course, they'll carry it to the sink because that's what we do in this house. If they push back, stay calm and simply wait. You don't need to argue. You just need to hold the expectation. Do that same thing tomorrow night and the night after. Not because you need the help, but because your child needs the experience of being a person who contributes. That's how it starts. One plate, one night, one small and ordinary act of trust.